Hello, internet viewers. I'm the fairly OddGamer. Do you hear that? That sound could only mean one thing. I'm back, baby! It's Halloween, so that means I've returned for more frightful and scary games for your enjoyment. But in the case of today, I want to talk about a franchise that's been loved and adored for many generations, and is still loved today. With that said, let's talk about the Muppets.
Created in the 1950s by Jim Henson as a mix between puppet and marionette, the Muppets have become widely known for their appearances on television in commercials and TV shows such as Saturday Night Live or SNL, Sesame Street, and even The Muppet Show in 1976. 3 years after the TV show's release, a theatrical movie starring the Muppets had premiered. And because the movie was a huge success, the Muppets would continue making more movies for another 20 years until Muppets from Space came along, almost losing money at the box office. It wasn't until Disney acquired the rights to the Muppets in 2004, which explains why the early Muppet movies are now available on Disney+. Within 6 decades, the Muppets have become a staple of pop culture and the entertainment industry with merchandise, live performances, including a 3D attraction at Disney World, and even a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Personally, I loved the Muppets as a kid, and I still do today. Not only was the Muppets Christmas Carol my introduction to the Muppets as a whole, but it also introduced me to the Christmas Carol story. And in case you're wondering, I actually saw it on VHS at my grandparents' house. Since then, I've seen some of the early Muppet movies, including the reboot theatrical movies from the 2010s, as well as the TV show. I even own the first season of The Muppet Show on DVD, and that's how I became a true Muppets fan.
With the franchise that's widely known, lots of video games are made about them. They include a Mario Kart clone for the PlayStation, a Mario Party clone for the GameCube, and a James Bond parody for the Game Boy Advance. However, there is one Muppets game that is story-based. Not only does it follow the gameplay style of Spyro the Dragon, as well as Crash Bandicoot, Croc Legends of the Gobos, and Super Mario 64, but it also follows the theme of Halloween. If you haven't guessed yet, it's Muppet Monster Adventure, released in 2000 for the PlayStation. Is this game any good? Well, get ready, because it's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time to meet the Muppets in this here game tonight. And if you're wondering where I got this necklace from, I got it online not too long ago. Let's begin, shall we?
After a 3D rendition of the Jim Henson logo, we see that the game was published by Midway Home Entertainment and developed by newcomer Magenta Software. After seeing a fitting title screen, we can now start the game. Rob is excited because he and the Muppets are finally taking a vacation, perhaps a trip around the world to places like England, Greece, Arabia, Krakatoa, and China, among others. The hopes are dashed when it's revealed that they're at an old abandoned castle in the middle of nowhere. Why? Because they have to escort Dr. Bunsen Honeydew for the reading of his late uncle's will, emphasizing the value of friendship.
Oh, but I have a bad feeling about this, Uncle Kermit.
Hey, Disney hasn't bought Star Wars yet, or acquired the rights to the Muppets. We see that Robin is terrified by the castle's surroundings, including a tree, which, yeah, it does look terrifying, and a castle door assuring that there is nothing to be afraid of.
What knockers?
Well, instead of being introduced by Frau Blucher,
Who said anything about a horse?
a mysterious shadow approaches as Robin feigns thinking it's a monster. Robin gets woken up by Bunsen, his assistant Beaker, and Pepe the King Prawn at an underground laboratory safe and sound. The only downside is that Kermit and his friends have been transformed into hideous monsters by the castle's evil energy after Robin's feigning spell. What's even worse is that the castle's evil energy is starting to permeate the entire village.
Everything in the area is rapidly becoming evil.
Luckily, Bunsen has a few pieces of equipment for Robin to help him do the job. They include a power glove that takes out evil from any monster.
It's so bad.
And the same energy gets stored into a small backpack. Backpack, 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 backpack. On the backpack loaded up with evil energy. Anything that you might need, I'm sure will make you scream. Thankfully, both the glove and backpack are designed for amphibian anatomy.
Wow, what a coincidence!
But that's not all, because Pepe will also be providing assistance via transmitter flag, which allows him to give Robin helpful tips and advice. Robin gets beamed up via transported into the hub world, which is basically a portal to every area of the village. You can actually unlock more levels by collecting more evil energy. However, boss levels can be unlocked by collecting Muppet tokens, either hiding in the stage as well as collecting Pepe's side missions. Each area contains 3 regular levels and 1 boss level in the end. So with 18 regular levels as well as 6 boss levels, then that would mean there's 24 overall levels in the game. And we start off the game in Castle Von Honeydew with the first level of the game, Peacock Purgatory. It's a nice beginner level for players to get used to the controls. Speaking of which, use the control pad to move, or even the control stick if the analog feature is on, exit jump, circle to use a spin attack similar to Crash Bandicoot, square to shoot, I can assume photon energy at certain enemies or items, L2 and R2 to rotate the camera manually, R1 to sprint, L1 to check your game info, and triangle to activate a morph power-up. Speaking of which, you have to obtain these morph power-ups by finding 4 Muppet amulet pieces scattered around the level before exiting the level. First there's the Werebear, allowing Robin to climb up certain walls as long as he doesn't run into obstacles. Then we have the Muck Monster, giving Robin the ability to swim underwater. I mean, it was established in 1971 from the version of the Frog Prince that Robin, a prince turned frog, can't swim.
Don't forget to take a deep breath. I forgot.
But the swimming controls are much different than on land. You swim normally by holding X, square to perform a swim dash, and circle to perform an underwater barrel roll for destroying crates underwater. Finally, we have what I think is the best power-up in the game, Nosferatu. By attaining this power-up, Robin can transform into a bat and glide for long distances as long as there's land below him. And for a platformer, it does the job pretty well. In addition to destroying pumpkins, pirate chests, and armor helmets, Robin can either gain access to secret rooms or even progress through the level by shooting at bullseye targets held by bats.
They're great survivors.
Oh, and there's sparkling platforms that allow you to jump to higher ground, which also works well with the Nosferatu power-up. There's also checkpoints represented by a spinning star with Robin's face on it, where it restarts in case he dies by falling into a bottomless abyss or losing all his health points via flying hearts. However, getting a game over or losing all your lives results in having you to restart the level from the beginning. But there is a way to prevent yourself from dying. Whether scattered or hidden, Robin can gain extra hit points as well as lives depending on how full or empty those golden hearts are. Empty gold hearts mean more hit points, and full golden hearts mean extra lives. Luckily, you don't have to search for evil energy or Muppet tokens again because they're already found. Speaking of which, evil energy can be found whether they're scattered around the level or hidden in enemies, pumpkins, crates, and or armor. For Muppet tokens, they can also be found scattered around the level in not so easy to reach spots. But unlike evil energy, they can be found by collecting letter tiles that spell the word bonus, resulting in a box exploding that reveals the token. Plus, they can be obtained by performing mini challenges from Pepe, mostly under a time limit, like climbing up sunflowers using the Werebear power-up. But one challenge that has no time limit is having to race against an opponent to the finish line, like a peacock. It's here where holding the sprint button is important because you can never win without it. Finally, you can freely exit the level by walking into a portal back to the hub. However, the main goal for each level is to fully complete a level 100%, which means finding all the evil energy and all the Muppet tokens. Up next, we have the Hallways of Doom. The aesthetics look pretty good, and you can even defeat guards, some with shields. It's here where you unlock a new morph power-up, the Ghoul Friend. You remember when Miss Piggy used her karate chops? Well, now Robin can do just that in order to bust through broken barriers. Oh, and make sure you get that Muppet token back from Rizzo the Rat. Plus, by getting Camilla, you can temporarily upgrade your power glove by throwing eggs at enemies and targets. Moving on to the next level, Poker Faces. 8 years before Lady Gaga made a song about it. Not only are you introduced to lava that costs you a health point, but you're also introduced to the final morph power-up, the Cur Monster. With this, Robin can push and pull blocks that can guide him to areas that he can't reach himself. But the game can trick you by having Robin trigger not 1, but 2 switches to gain more access. There's also another mini challenge in which you use the chicken upgrade to throw eggs at a certain number of falling enemy targets before time runs out. Plus, this is the level where you first run into Beaker. If you find him, then make sure you shoot him. It activates his rocket pack that allows him to zoom around the level and crash land into a secret area or passage. Collecting enough Muppet tokens unlocks the first boss level, Nosferatu Strikes Back. with Gonzo portraying Nosferatu. Oh, I get it. Before starting a boss level, Pepe gives you advice on what to do for any specific boss battle, as well as an intro taunt.
This is gonna hurt me more than it hurts you. Lucky for me.
In this boss fight, you have to avoid skull-ramming skeletons coming towards you, as well as bats being shot as projectiles. The only way to defeat him is by using the chicken upgrade to throw eggs at him. By the way, I can't help but notice that I'm literally using Gonzo's girlfriend for vengeance. And honestly, I don't know how I feel about that. Each boss also has a health meter, but with a different color. Damaging the boss 3 times defeats them, resulting in having one of Robin's friends rescued.
Thanks, Robin. I prefer my flying with a cannon. I hit walls harder that way.
By the way, each monster boss has their own sound clip of them taking damage. But my favorite one has to be when Nosferatu gets defeated.
Yes! No, wait, I take that back. No!
Honestly, imagine if that was used during that one scene in Revenge of the Sith.
No!
In fact, now that I think about it, it actually does make sense.
Remember in the Muppet Show where the cast of Star Wars made a guest appearance?
The world will never know!
Yep, that was Gonzo portraying a discount version of Darth Vader. Defeating the boss level not only saves a friend of Robin, but it also unlocks the next area. In this case, it's the outskirts of the village called the Deadlands. Now for each level, I'll try my best to briefly talk about each level because the gameplay style is pretty much the same. Grave Mounds has electrified water, as well as axe-wielding Igors, evil living gravestones, and reanimated skeletons that throw bones at you. And for the first time, there's Taz mummies that can be defeated via Power Glove. It's also a level where you're introduced to a new mini-challenge. It's pretty much 3 levels of Simon in which you have to use your spin attack to rotate skulls in the correct order. But if you mess up at any point, then you have to start the challenge all over again. Molten Mayhem has lava, if you couldn't tell, but it also has living cacti as well as another target challenge. However, it's here where you're introduced to a new challenge in which to destroy boxes that a ghost is hiding in. And Shivering Timber Souls has pirate-themed enemies, which is fitting. It's here where you're introduced to a new hazard, goo. Make sure you avoid it at all costs, or you have to quickly jump out of it before it sucks you in, costing you a life. There's also another new challenge in which you have to find a certain amount of items like seashells within a time limit. Luckily, this challenge has an arrow that guides Robin to where the next item is located at. Luckily, if you die during a challenge, it won't count toward your life total. So on to the next monster battle, Beware the Werebear, with Fozzie Bear as the werebear.
Ah, so you think you can beat me? Ah, you must be joking. Ah!
I guess you could say he's a bear wolf. All you have to do is spin 4 wheels on a circular walkway to position the boulder and make it fall on Fozzie's head 3 times in order to defeat him. But do be careful because there's also falling acorns and saws that will either cut the runway or chase after you. However, if you fall off, then you have to start the boss fight again from the beginning.
Oh, the first time I climbed to the top, and look what happens. Well, all I can say is thank you, and thank you!
Moving on to the next area, Neverleaf Forest. Hike of the Haunted is probably the only level in this game that's raining, but at least it has a camping feel to it. You can climb on a totem pole and trees, but avoid these birds that pop out. Also, there's evil warthogs and living bear traps. Oh, and you see these small totem poles? There's a mini challenge in which you have to destroy them via unlimited chicken eggs. It's also a level where you're introduced to a new challenge in which you use the Nosferatu power-up to fly through rings. It's Super 64 all over again! Okay, it's really not that bad, but you know what I mean. The River Vial has water currents that can mostly hinder you, but sometimes help you progress through the level. And by the way, some of them contain mines. Best to avoid them at all costs. Oh, and there's another game assignment, this time with spinning gears. But here's the escape clause. You see what I did there? You have a mini challenge with Robin using the werebear power-up to climb up a tree and collect mushrooms for a lady's potion. Not only is this level filled with them, but we also have Gruntilda from Banjo-Kazooie? And finally there's this block puzzle in which you have to place these blocks in the correct spots. This leads to the next monster boss, Cower Before Cur Monster.
Ah, you look like Frog, but soon you must duck.
Look, I know it's supposed to be Frankenstein's monster, but honestly, he looks more like the Incredible Hulk. Even Steve Whitmire, Kermit's performer at the time, says the same thing. And he's never played this game yet. Anyway, it starts off with Robin perfecting the Joestar secret technique. And you have to avoid Cur Smash, as well as Cur Throw with boxes. Some contain hearts, and some contain poisonous spiders. But one box holds a chicken, which Robin has to get. Once he does, it's now Kermit that has to perform the Joestar secret technique. Or maybe not. Do that 2 more times, and Kermit is back to his normal self.
Good work, Robin.
Originally, I thought Kermit would say something more fitting, but according to Whitmire, he felt that's what Kermit would say in a situation like this. Moving on to the next area, Village of the Darned. Oklahoma is about the same as any typical level, except for Robin having to karate chop water barrels. Oh, and Beaker smashing through a windmill. At least we have an accompaniment of Hungarian Rhapsody No. 2 by Liszt. Actually, before I move on, I want to point out that the music in this game was done by Oscar winner Michael Giacchino, who would later work on music for movies such as The Incredibles and Ratatouille. The only downside is that some of the music in this game is reused for some levels, lessening the amount of variety in music. Arabian Frights looks pretty good with the aesthetics and enemy design, but I'm not sure who or what is releasing rolling water barrels to hinder Robin. But at the end of the day, I end up feeling flushed, and oh boy. Not only is there a mini challenge in which you have to place each electrical block in the correct position, but there's also robots that can come towards you if you're too close to them. If they do, then quickly take them out with your power glove. Otherwise, you've just lost health. Also, there's more goo for Robin to avoid. Next monster boss, the Muck Monster Slimeth, with Clifford as... wait, Mucky?
You're in over your head now, kid.
Or pretty much the Gill Man from Creature from the Black Lagoon. The overall boss fight is pretty simple. Just avoid these dash bomb missiles shot from these barrels, as well as dynamite that Mucky throws at you. Or rather, random platforms. Either way, just quickly jump your way to the flashing platform in order to electrocute the Muck Monster. And of course, falling into the goo causes you to start the boss fight all over again. Electrocute Mucky 2 more times, and Clifford is back to his normal self.
Swimmingly done, little Robin.
Dude. Up next, we have Madness March. Hut Hut Hike is mostly Robin swimming underwater, but it's here we're introduced to a new underwater enemy.
I'm a piranha, there in the Amazon.
There's also porcupine fish that can swim towards you while inflated, which can either be avoided or destroyed via swim dash. This is also a level where you race against a shark while swimming through rings. It's like Finding Nemo, only much better. Also, it's here where you encounter the Swedish chef. Anyway, all you have to do is find all the ingredients needed for Chef's delicious soup. But at the Temple of Pork, Robin has to face enemies that look like Aku Aku from Crash Bandicoot, as well as traversing through a temple by solving the Shaman's block puzzle and quickly hopping through falling platforms for the first time. Also, when I first heard the music for this level, I actually thought of the DS version of Madagascar Escape to Africa. Then Robin takes a dive in the bluest bayou, filled with villagers that throw dynamite, hungry alligators, and breaking open clams to collect pearls within a time limit. This leads to the next monster boss level, Doing the Bride Slide, with Miss Piggy as the ghoul friend monster.
Watch who you're calling a monster, frog boy.
Oops, sorry about that. Just slide to the bottom of the slide while avoiding obstacles such as falling into a bottomless abyss and ice blocks, which cause an instant death if you touch them. Doesn't matter if they move or not. Also, you have Robin sliding down an icy slide in a somewhat cold environment, and the music used for this level is not this.
By the way, does Robin's sliding style look similar at all?
How's it going, dude? Happy Halloween!
Well, thanks, Hux. You too. Love the outfit, by the way.
Well, thanks, Gamer. I thought my Boris outfit from the last review looked good on me, so I thought I'd make it my Halloween costume for this year. And that way, I'll be invincible!
I see. Just out of curiosity, does the style of sliding you see here look familiar to you?
What do you mean, dude? Oh, because it looks like he's surfing on the ice. Got it.
Yeah, with bare feet, I may add. But still a good level, though.
Yeah. Anyway, I better head off. Later, dude. Just shoot with the power glove 3 times to transform Miss Piggy out of her monster form.
You are moi's hero, little Robin.
And now we head to the game's final area, the What's the Matter Horn. The monster monastery captures the essence of the Ming Dynasty, but on a snowy mountain. But at least Beaker takes a gong to the head. Also, I find it a missed opportunity that there's no ice palace in this game.
Ice is my life!
By the way, Kristoff, nice to meet you. It has snowmen that can melt if Robin's too close to them, as well as this blue goo. Also, there's violent monks and a mini challenge that has Robin karate chop frozen ice sculptures of the Master. And for Baton's sake, why must the level trick us into thinking the level is short when you have to venture your way to the top in order to blow up the castle door? But at least there's ice barriers to karate chop as well as rocket boost penguins. And coming from the previous level, what's an ice level without, get this, ice physics. Yay! So it all leads to the final monster boss as well as the final level of the game, the mystery of the Master.
Your defeat will be music to my ears.
Clearly not a parody of Andrew Lloyd Webber's The Phantom of the Opera. For a final boss, it's pathetically easy. It starts off with Robin avoiding fireballs from his platform while stationary and flying towards you. Once the Master starts throwing fireballs at you manually, just stand on these star icons revealing this target that stuns him for a bit. And knowing the musical very well, it sort of feels like the game's version of
Bravo, monsieur, such spirited words!
yeah, that. Destroying 4 targets raises his platform, flattening him towards the ceiling. Flatten him 2 more times, and it's revealed that the Master is... wait, is that Bunsen's late Uncle Petrie?
Oh, where am I? I last remember working on a machine that was supposed to make things good. And then... I don't know. Perhaps I turned the dial in the wrong direction. Well, whatever the case, I believe we all owe you a great debt of gratitude.
I can only assume that he faints again from a state of shock because Robin gets woken up again by Dr. Honeydew in a hallway inside the castle. However, this time, he's with the Muppets, now unaltered. So why did Robin faint in the beginning? Well, it turns out the mysterious shadow is actually Chives the butler.
Dreadfully sorry, sir.
Robin exclaims that he had the strangest dream as he describes his adventure. Pretty much a quick summary of the game. And it leads to what the Muppets are best known for, breaking the fourth wall.
It sounds like a good idea for a video game again.
You were saying?
It's true.
They make their way upstairs, only for Robin to pass through a painting of Bunsen's recently departed uncle, Baron Peachy von Honeydew. And yes, he was his supposed master in Robin's dream. And also, Peachy can shush telepathically. But the power glove appears on Robin's hand again, making us think the adventure that Robin had may not have been a dream. But if you want to get the full ending, then you basically have to complete the game 100% by collecting all the evil energy and all the Muppet tokens and all the levels, whether left behind in clear sight or in hidden areas. But if you do just that, then you automatically get the final ending where everybody takes a bow and Robin performs for the final time the Joestar secret technique.
And that concludes the story mode for this game, but there's still one more thing to talk about. The gallery.
The only way to unlock gallery pieces is by, get this, defeating enemies again in each level. But instead of evil energy, it lets out Muppet coins. Collecting a certain amount unlocks a gallery piece. Luckily, because the game's status doesn't change after dying, you can defeat them again and still get a coin from that enemy. The gallery features movie clips, whether a cutscene, a small clip from the game that shows a secret area, or a blooper cutscene. And honestly, I think some of them are hilarious. Like when Robin gets teleported to the hub, they have clips of either Beaker or Robin burned to smoke, and even Robin melting? Oh, and there's this.
I think you're forgetting someone again.
Oh, I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Peppy.
Peppy.
Pepe.
Peppy.
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 Do a barrel roll.
Also sound clips, whether a blooper or unused sound clip accompanied with an image taken from one of the movies up to Muppets from Space. Finally, there's artwork, whether it's concept art, designed by a developer, or even designed by a fan. How and why, you may ask? Well, from what I've gathered, the people of Jim Henson actually held an art contest that allowed fans to draw either their favorite Muppet as a monster, or an original Muppet monster. In fact, one of the featured artworks was from Muppet Wiki editor Austin Costello, better known as Austin Muppet. Honestly, at age 6, it looks pretty good. Other fan art includes, Sully from Monsters, Inc.? Ooh, an early Muppet Show reference.
Que sera, sera, whatever will be, will be.
Aw, these monsters look adorable. What do you guys think?
You know, actually, they're not as scary as I thought they would be. They look pretty friendly.
I love it so much.
I just want to take them home with me.
I mean, it doesn't look too bad, to be honest, but I'm kind of glad they didn't use it, only because I probably would have been sued by Dr. Seuss. Man, try saying that 3 times fast.
Not bad. Well, for monster standards anyways. But there is something about that orange one's pupils that just, kind of rubs me the wrong way. Ooh.
Ah! Did Animal get electrocuted? That's terrifying! Okay, one more artwork. Ah! Wait, they allowed artwork of Elmo from Sesame Street? Elmo, what do you think of this?
No way.
My thoughts exactly.
So with that out of the way, what did I think of this game overall? I think it's pretty good for PS1 standards.
It's a standard collectathon platformer with a Muppets vibe, and I actually enjoy that. Graphically, it looks good for a PlayStation title. The level design is pretty good, the enemies look imaginative, and the Muppets look pretty good despite the model quality. But hey, what can you expect for a PS1 game? And I really love the design of the Muppets being morphed as some of the classic movie monsters we all know and love. As for the gameplay, it feels good to play as Robin, seeing that he is the main focus of the game. I think the morph power-ups work pretty well, especially the Nosferatu and Muck Monster power-ups. Plus the Crash Bandicoot style spinning attack as well as the Power Glove work pretty well for a small amphibian. The overall boss battles are pretty easy, so it's a good way for players to take a quick breather. And like I said, the music is pretty good except when some of the levels get reused for multiple levels. Did they honestly think limiting the amount of Guillotino's musical store would save them more money? But yeah, if you're a fan of the Muppets or just looking for a good game to play on Halloween, then I think Muppet Monster Adventure is the game for you. It has a compelling story, a gameplay style one could love and admire, and of course, the Muppets.
And I hope you enjoyed it because I certainly did. Wait, what's going on? What's happening to me? Oh. Huh. What just happened? Anyway, I hope you have a nice and safe Halloween, everyone. And as always, I'm the Fairly Odd Gamer, and I wish you all good luck for the rest of your day or night, wherever you are. Take care, everyone.
How do they do it?
How do we watch it?
Why do we watch it?
Why do you watch it?
How's it going, dudes? Huxgamr here. Be sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon if you want to get notified for upcoming videos.
Well said, Hux. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and some of my character buddies on TikTok. And if you like, you can have one of my character buddies do a short video for you via video commission. Links to all of those in the description below. And so, without further ado, I wish that one of my character buddies finished off the video.
Halloween. The holiday I enjoy the most. At least it would be if that idiot Jack Skellington didn't hog all the attention. Seriously, what's so special about that bone brain? Oh well, at least that silly OddGamer knows that I, Oogie Boogie, should get all the attention I rightfully deserve. And on that note, perhaps you should give him some attention on Patreon. You get to have perks like early access to his reviews, a behind-the-scenes look at recordings and title cards, and best of all, monthly shoutouts from yours truly. Oh, and some other guys too, but who cares about those losers, am I right? Anyway, this time the shoutout goes to Luke Jeffers, our special guest of honor. Expect Lock, Shock, and Barrel to stop by for trick-or-treating later. And you'd better have some candy for them, or I'll have to stop by myself. Happy Halloween!